it off, and I think Masha's going to be a unit that he's going to want to fight over. Masha and Sekhmet are going to be units he's going to want to fight over. I think Sekhmet is likely going to be Raigeki's first pick because he typically likes to have the versatility of outspeeding or playing turn 2. So Masha's going to be a key unit, but I think Sekhmet is going to be the first pick of Raigeki's to open this matchup.
Oliver and Volantis getting pre-banned here. Shizuka going to be the unit Raigeki is going to be prioritizing. Hope very quick to taking Nana Praha.
Interesting pick of the Shizuka first. I guess typical on ladder, you see Raigeki open up with the Sekhmet first, but Shizuka is also a perfectly fine pick. There is going to be a lot of back and forth here. Raigeki does favor that Sekhmet, is going to snag it next, and goes with the Sierra, given the fact that Hope has laid down 2 water units. Makes a lot of sense.
Sierra Sekhmet coming out here, getting a speed lead as well. Hope locking in a Dominic and a Wusa.
And I would be surprised not. I think Raigeki's going to take a Juno here, given the fact that his Juno does like 2.5 damage per hit. The 2 best Junos in the world are El Mimo's and Raigeki's. Raigeki's Juno's absolutely monstrous here. Oberon is an interesting pick here. Does a lot of damage, and there's a combination between Oberon and Shizuka that we may have seen in the APAC Cup that's going to do a lot. Takes a Laura instead of a Juno. Interesting pick here.
Yeah, very interesting to see the Laura here. I wonder what kind of value he's going to be getting out of there. So he has that AoE strip in the form of Laura. Hope looking to respond after seeing 2 LDs wrapping up Raigeki's draft.
Yeah, and if I was Hope here, I'd be looking to I'd probably taking the Shizuka, or probably not taking the Shizuka off the table. It's pretty viable to take off the Sekhmet or the Oberon. The Oberon presents a lot of volatility here. Hope's flashing a ton of units, running out of time here, not sure what he's going to pick. Takes a Vertihile, which is an interesting pick, but I think if Raigeki's able to keep the Verd under control here, that Verd might not do a lot in this matchup. If the Dominic is gone, there's not really a lot of damage coming out from Hope's side.
Yeah, Shizuka and Dominic getting the bans here. It's interesting to see all those units being flashing. That's just that player experience showing right there. Leader skills locked in. Raigeki versus Hope, round 1. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and as noted here, once that Dominic's gone, Hope does not have a lot of DPS, so we're going to see what kind of damage Hope can bring to the table here. Likely he's going to need to have Nana defense breaker unit and then have Praha and Vertihile do a lot of damage over time. That's pretty much the only way that Hope can win here.
Yep, there's that big stun sitting on top of the vertical. So like you said, if you can keep that thing under control, it's going to be looking very good for Raigeki. Doesn't need to cleanse up that bomb. Bomb's going to sit on top of the Verti-heal. We're just going to see a nice little first skill possibly come out from this Praha.
Yeah, and that's a massive proc from that Sierra there. Able to have bomb the next time it goes around, but that's also a huge proc from that Praha. It's going to be able to sleep all these units and give Hope some cycling and a speed buff.
Let's see if he goes with that. Chooses to go with the first skill, cycle a little bit of attack bar into that Volantis, hoping for a 2-turn sleep here with this Wusa.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Hope is hoping for, but does get that 2-turn sleep onto that Oberon, so massive sleep coming up on that Wusa.
Feel like that's that caster curse coming in there. I'm sorry, Raigeki. Stun going out onto the Sierra as well.
Wow, and you see a stun coming out from the Nana onto that Sierra, so massively unlucky for Raigeki. That Vertihile does have a 1-turn bomb on it, but again, I'm really surprised Hope did not choose to use skill 3 on that Praha earlier, but again, I guess if your Wusa's skill 1s work every time, then you don't need to use that skill.
Well, Wusa is going to be looking for another first skill into the Oberon, not getting any value there. AoE coming in here for double Despair Stun going out in a Sekhmet Oberon.
Wow, double Despair Stun and lands a ton of defense breaks, so Hope is definitely getting a lot of good RNG here, but Raigeki still has another bomb. That proc from Sierra earlier is now going to allow him to stun 2 units. This bomb is either going to go into Praha or Wusa. Goes on Praha here. He should be thinking about detonating. He does not, because he does not want to have Vertihile die and have it start moving along and doing a lot of damage.
Oof, no additional turn happening there with that Laura, but you can see Wusa's going to be there to get his additional turn, get those shield up, and his units may survive the bombs.
Wow, what a massive proc from Hope. Hope doing a lot of hoping here and does get that proc. That shield's massive because that Verd is not stunned, and Hope's going to take a lot of turns here. Has 2 orbs on that Nana. That's a lot for Raigeki to get through. I don't think he has enough to come back here.
Yeah, big even bigger sleeps happening now with that 2-turn on top of the Sekhmet. Definitely not looking good for Raigeki at all.
Wow, and this is just so one-sided. You've seen sleeps and stuns from water onto wind. You've seen that Wusa sleep so many units for turn 2. I mean, this just feels like there's just so many things going against Raigeki here. It's hard for him to come back.
It really is. 2 orbs sitting on top of that Nana. I'm not too sure what Raigeki can do here. Verti-heal just boosting up his team so much with that attack bar gain here. Any stuns coming out for Raigeki. Does get 2 stuns. I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't know what Raigeki can do here. This RNG has not gone his way. He's going to need 1,000,000 procs on this Zera. Remember, that Laura's on Despair, so that Laura can't proc either. But again, Hope does have low attack bars. Interesting that that bomb did not go on that Verd. That Verd's going to enable Hope's team to move here.
It really is. Here comes the shields and immunity. Bomb's not going to be dealing much damage now.
Yeah, not going to be doing much damage now. That Laura did not take another turn, so Laura not able to stun there. Not able to strip, but again, that does get a proc, but that proc doesn't really do a ton. Misses the bomb. Really unlucky for Raigeki here.
Yeah, Raigeki cannot guilty, I will be honest.
Yeah, it's always hard to feel good when so much RNG comes out this way. But again, I mean, I really did like Raigeki's draft there. There's a lot of ways for him to win, but unfortunately, you just caught sleep after stun after stun after proc. So it's a lot for him to get through, and ultimately, it's really tough to get through that. So we'll see if he comes in with a similar play style. I think that's going to be the case here, but probably taking this full minute here to think about it.
Well, pre-bans coming out here. Dominic and Oberon getting pre-ban. No more Shizuka-Oberon combination coming out.
No more Shizuka-Oberon combination, but I'm not sure if Oberon's the right pre-ban here. I really think Hope should be thinking about taking, he's going to take the segment early. It's either the Masha or the segment. He knows he can take Oliver later. Raigeki's going to have to take that Masha there because he can't let that go into Hope's hands. That's too much damage from the face. I think Raigeki's going to lean into Juno later in this matchup because Juno's really good in the segment. And Shizuka.
Yeah, this might play into Raigeki's favor here. He's able to get a second round pick here and getting that Nana and Masha. Where Hope had first pick. Volantis, Juno. Guys are very quick to drafting now. Miles and Oliver wrapping up Hope's draft.
Yeah, so Raigeki's most likely going to be taking up that Miles. His team is very good. That Masha, Volantis, Juno core is very good in Hope's remaining 4 units if that Miles is removed from the field. So I think Raigeki's going to need to take something that's going to allow him a little bit more resilience. So Praha's great. I still think Miles is the ban, but now that he's taken Praha last, it generally signals an Oliver ban actually. So we could see an Oliver takeout. But prior to this last pick, I would have thought the Miles takeout was fine. So I'm thinking the Praha signals an Oliver ban here. And if I'm Hope, I'm looking at this, the Nana's a fair ban, takes out the Moore. That's a very interesting ban from Raigeki here.
Very interesting indeed. We're going to find out if those bans are correct as we get into this round 2 match between Hope and Raigeki.
Yeah, so Raigeki basically takes out the Moore because he doesn't want to let that Oliver tee off on his team here. But again, this Miles, if it strips, is going to allow that Oliver to go off anyways, but does not get the strip onto the Praha.
Does not get that strip. You can see a little bit of a revenge come towards that Oliver here. No stuns, though, coming out.
Yeah, no stuns going out here, but again, that miss of that strip was massive because that Oliver's not able to reset that Praha. Praha is going to allow Raigeki to cycle turn over turn over turn and allow him to do a lot of damage. Raigeki has really powerful artifacts, so his Oracles are going to do a lot of damage this match.
Now, all the immunity is off except on that segment. Let's see if he goes for the sleep instead of the first skill to cycle a little bit of attack bar. Goes for the strip instead.
Yeah, and Raigeki getting a massive proc there, and does use skill 3 on his Praha, so he has a 2-turn speed buff. Is going to be able to pump in a lot of damage here. This looks like this Oliver is going to go down really soon. Does not get the attack defense break, though, which is huge.
That was a nice little return, pumping in that damage on top of the Oliver. No defense break indeed at all. I mean, we've got Volantis who could be finishing off this Oliver.
Yeah, that Oliver does have 2 dots on it. Looks like it's going to go down. Segment does have skill 2 to give some sort of glancing. That glancing is a big deal on this Volantis here. But again, Raigeki pretty much has this Juno that's going to be able to do tons of damage here. Look at that, 2,000 damage per hit.
Yeah, so much damage coming out of that first skill of these Oracles. We've got Miles trying to do something about it to slow Raigeki down. No attack bar is going to get reduced on top of that Praha. The damage just flowing in on top of that segment. No stuns coming through here. We're going to see a lot of value, though, out of this third skill.
Yeah, we see a lot of this, but there's a lot of dots coming on the field. Shizuka basically allowing Juno to do a lot of damage, but unfortunately only strips 1 unit, so not enough dots. But look at that, the number of dots on that Miles. That's so much damage that's going to be going on it over time.
Definitely a lot of dots sitting on top of the Miles. Indeed, you can see how much damage he took right there, but he wishes he had the full value of the strips. It just didn't work out in Raigeki's favor again.
Yeah, it didn't work out in his favor here, but that segment looks like it's going down soon. That Soul Protect going on that segment might protect it for a little bit, but I think Raigeki's just going to auto that segment down. Could also go for a burst on the Miles. Either is okay here. Hope's looking like he's in the tough spot.
Definitely indeed. First skill damage going out on the Praha. Praha took that very well. Juno, the beautiful spare stun here. Miles, big damage on top of the Praha. Praha looking to get removed from the field soon.
Yeah, Praha might get removed from the field soon, but again, that Shizuka does not have skills up. It's a lot of damage coming off that Juno. That Praha also does a fair bit of damage, and Volantis has its skills up.
Yeah, Volantis getting good value there on top of the Miles, getting that nice little stun. Additional turn popping out. Raigeki wasn't able to capitalize it if he did get the Nana through, so maybe the Nana was a really poor ban for Hope.
I definitely think the ban could have been better placed there, but either way, I mean, Raigeki had a much better draft leading into it. I mean, he had such a strong core. Hope did not have enough damage to really get through much, and Raigeki had so many ways to win there. So we see an Oliver ban, we see a Volantis ban. Raigeki's probably going to open up the same way he did in Game 1 and try to have the same style of match, because he really did get unlucky in that first match there.
Yeah, these two very quick to drafting here. They knew exactly what they want. Raigeki choosing to slow it down. Shizuka is his first pick, responded by Nana and Praha.
So Raigeki likely going to go for the same thing. Interestingly enough, I would normally say a Changpeng's very good there, but Raigeki has fed his only Changpeng available a long time ago. So unfortunately, he does not have a Changpeng in his box either.
Ooh, Changpeng definitely would have been nice for the tournament, but it is what it is. Raigeki locking in Oberon and Diana this time.
Interesting pick of the Diana. I really do like it into the setup of Hope. He is preemptively, does need to ban out that Dominic though. Dominic bringing in a lot of damage. So Hope should really think about something that brings in a lot of damage itself. I would like to see a Masha here. A Masha is going to do a lot of damage. He's probably thinking Verd as well. Probably thinking Masha or Juno. Some sort of fire unit that does damage over time. His fifth pick has to be damage here. Goes with the Mo Long, which is kind of an interesting pick here. And I'm not sure about that. I think something that's does a little bit more damage over time would have been better.
So the Mo Long first pick for me definitely says that Hope has high hopes in taking turn 1 and removing that Diana as soon as possible.
Hope is going to need a Hope for a lot of procs here, but we're going to see Raigeki open with that segment, and you see the attack lead on that Oberon. That Oberon's going to do a lot of damage. So as long as it can survive turn 1, that Oberon's going to take something out.
All right, let's see how things work out for Raigeki and Hope in this round 3 match between the two of them. Reset does land on top of that Praha. Mo Long with the Reckless Assault available.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and interestingly enough, that Oberon is not the target. So Hope might be thinking that he could down his Oberon in one hit here, and is going to do so, going to attempt to do so with that Dominic.
Well, Dominic's looking to pummel in some big damage here. He can't get any branding effects, only skill 1, and he chooses to go after that CR because he doesn't want to see these bombs coming out here, but he's going to see a bomb anyways, landing on top of the Mo Long.
Yeah, very interesting that Hope is content to let this Oberon go off, but not enough damage onto that Dominic. But unfortunately, Sekman's able to finish off that Dominic, so Raigeki's able to take this 3 units to 2 at the moment.
Yeah, definitely looking really good for Raigeki. He does have the immunity on the side of Hope to help prevent these bombs here. But I mean, we've got a, not a Volantis, I'm sorry. We have a Oberon still left on the field.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Hope didn't take that Oberon off out the bat. That was so much damage going in onto that Dominic. That Dominic would do so much work over time with a shield there and into Sierra. So I'm not sure why he didn't choose to take out that Oberon. And so that Oberon made a big swing in this event here. So Raigeki's Sierra also being very tanky is going to allow him to just bruise and do damage over time. Probably take this one home.
Now Raigeki really trying to pummel away the damage here on top of that Praha. Praha's able to sustain the team. No 2-turn saves coming out anymore for Hope. You can see those first skills going into Ciara. Additional turn, popping out your Ciara is still alive. Does he choose to throw up the shield, or is he going to try and take out that Ciara?
I think he needs to take out the Ciara here, and he does go for it, but unfortunately not able to take out that Ciara. Just not enough damage on that Wusa here. That Praha's going to eat a bomb, and it might go down here.
Ooh, does eat that bomb. Goes to Curse Beautiful. Drops the Praha. Raigeki looking to get this victory here.
Raigeki looking very strong here. LD abusing his way to victory and is able to down that Wusa with the Oberon.
And there you have it. Raigeki taking round 3 away from